day, a very warm welcome to everybody that has tuned in for today's story. I would like to tell you about dreams. A dream is an inspiring picture of the future that energizes your mind, will, and emotions, empowering you to do everything you can to achieve it. And with that, I would like to read to you about the Dassie's dream. It was the end of summer, and the earth was dry and parched. No rain had fallen for many months, and the mountain, with its many rocks and caves, waited patiently and silently for the cooler winds and clouds of autumn which might bring the rain. In the caves lived families of dassies. The younger ones did not mind the heat and drought. Each day they played on the rocks, lay in the sun's warmth, and told each other about their dreams. One had dreamed that he was a little tadpole and could swim in the pond and see everything under the water. One little dassie was sad because he had never had a dream. One day he decided to find out all about dreams. So when all the young dassies were playing on the rocks, he slipped away and hopped down the dusty mountain. He heard a slithering and hissing, and there before him was a long snake. The little dassie's mother had told him never to speak to strange snakes, but he had to ask him, "Snake, please can you tell me, do you have any dreams?" "Oh, yes, I do, and sometimes I dream that I have a nice little dassie to eat for my supper." The little dassie was frightened and ran away down the mountain. Next, he met a big old tortoise, creeping slowly up the steep mountain side. The tortoise pulled in his head and tail when he saw the dassie, for he was very shy. "Tortoise, please tell me, do you have dreams?" asked the dassie. "Ah, yes," said the tortoise, poking his head out of his shell. "I do. Would you like me to tell you of my best dreams?" "Yes, please." "Well, I often dream that I have come to the end of my journey, to a place green and cool with long grass and shady trees, and with a cool stream where I can bathe my aching feet and drink when I want to." Suddenly, the tortoise started walking off again, and quite fast, as though he knew he would soon come to the end of his journey. The little dassie went on sadly, and wondering whether he would ever meet anyone who could help him find a dream. On a rock just ahead was a lizard sunning himself. The dassie nearly didn't see him because he was the exact color of the rock. When the dassie came closer to the lizard, he lifted his head. They looked at each other. "Lizard, please tell me, do you have dreams?" "Yes, beautiful dreams." "Oh, please, can I have one?" "Of course. Do you see that cave over there? Go there and you will see something very special. If you sleep there, you will have a very beautiful dream." The little dassie ran to the cave. At first he couldn't see anything at all, as the cave was so dark inside, but then he saw, on the rock that formed the back of the cave, beautiful paintings of animals. Elephants with large tusks, delicate little buck, and some men with bows and arrows. He knew what they were, even though he had never seen real elephants or buck or bushmen before, because his father had told him about them. His father had been told by his grandfather, and he by his grandfather, and so the story had been passed on. The little dassie sat and gazed at the pictures. He was tired after running down the mountain. It was nice and cool inside the cave. He lay down and soon fell fast asleep. and then he had a dream of his very own. He dreamed that he was sitting on a rock looking out over the valley. But the valley was not dry and sandy and barren as it was now. It was green and fertile, with lush grasses and bushes laden with red berries. The trees were full of ripe wild fruit, and animals and birds were everywhere. The river was not nearly dried out and full of rocks, but wide and deep and blue. Elephants were there, drinking and playing. Buck were walking up and down at the edge of the water, and there were bushmen chattering to each other while they filled their leather bags with berries and leaves. Then he heard someone say, "Good afternoon, young fellow. Welcome to our village." He looked around, and there was his great-great-great-grandfather. He knew at once who it was. He was very, very old. His fur was a beautiful silver grey, with cloudy white patches around his nose and mouth. His eyes were shining and clear, and he looked very wise, as though he knew every little secret in every heart. Little Darcy was very happy. His great-great-great-grandfather said to him, "I am always here on the rock, and always will be. You can visit me any time you wish." The Darcy woke up, and still with great joy in his heart, he ran home, thinking of his beautiful dream, and his great-great-great-grandfather, waiting for him to visit him at any time. He also knew with great certainty that dreams are just waiting somewhere for someone who searches long and hard enough. Friends, I would like to tell you that a dream is a wish your heart makes. Always follow your dreams and never give up.
Hallo almal, ons het baie goeie nuus. Giving Children Wings is uiteindelik weer oop. Alles in plek. Dan niks lek.
Maak toe jou piep. Ons piep 1 tot 1 sessies.
Lekker leeslessies.
Ons help jou ook met 'n som.
Gooi jy nie meer dop.
Moet mamma en pappa gaan werk.
En voel jy op jou eie nie so sterk.
En kom gerus na ons toe.
En ons neem jou onder ons vlerk.
Het jy te veel gerus?
En oefening gemis?
Ons doen ook oefeninge om ons oogies en ons oortjies sterk te hou.
Werk ook aan jou lyfie.
En dan voel jy nooit weer styfie.
Is daar nie 'n sentrum nou by jou nie?
Ons kan maklik met jou Zoom.
Besoek gerus ons webblad en onthou ons storietyd om 12:00 elke dag op Giving Children Wings se YouTube kanaal.
So that's not all. Give us a call because Giving Children Wings offers all these services in English as well.